Welcome to the Teacher's Guide to Best Tiered Instruction. Today we'll be looking at 2nd grade standard NSO 1.3, which is all about plotting, ordering, and comparing numbers from 0 to 1,000. The use of a number line allows students to review what they learned in the previous grade level about the endpoints and a midpoint. Having students manipulate and label the number lines will help with plotting, ordering, and comparing larger numbers this year. You may also use a place value chart up to the hundreds with a count up so that students understand where the endpoints come from and the midpoint when comparing, plotting, and finding numbers. Here we use a marker for them to find the number and then understand what number that number is between. So since 72 is between 70 and 80, students can then plot 72 onto the number line. Now giving them 3 numbers, we go over how to put numbers into ascending and descending order. All of these numbers can be found between 30 and 60, and using horizontal and vertical number lines is a great tool for students to understand least to greatest. With 3 endpoints, or 3 numbers, you can have students discuss what 2 endpoints they would like to use. There is no right or wrong answer, but make sure that we're trying to hone in on the closest numbers. After students plot the numbers, then they can label them into ascending and descending orders, still using the language of least to greatest or greatest to least. When numbers have the same digits, sometimes students struggle, so having them represent the numbers with base 10 blocks makes the connection that 3 in the hundreds place would be greater than a 1 in the hundreds place. Using some sentence stems connect with the symbols, again for students still struggling with the greater than or less than symbol. Here the hundreds are the same, so having the discussion of using the tens place and representing the value that those digits have. Another great strategy is to allow students to use digit cards to build different numbers. All 3 of these numbers have the same digits, but now they have different place values. So placing them on a number line is a great way for students to build their number sense, as well as have a great conversation of their reasoning. In this case, the numbers are plotted for them, so students have to investigate and figure out what these numbers could be. Again, here we're checking for reasonability. So point A could be 271 or 272 because that makes sense. C is already on 250. So looking at B looks like it's halfway. So a reasonable answer would be 305. But again, any number close to that would be acceptable as long as it makes sense. Using place value discs still for students that need to build numbers would allow for more practice with the greater than and less than if they need to justify their thinking. You can also have a discussion of how much greater is 531 than 375. Students can easily see what these two numbers have in common in the hundredths place, so we can say that this number is 200 greater. Hopefully you took away some strategies that you can implement in your classroom and with your students. There are tons of ways to keep students exploring numbers, but the best way to build their number reasoning and sense is using number lines and base 10 blocks.